What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be talking about Palantir technology. So today, they released some massive news about a new event that they are going to be having in the middle of April. Now, we've seen an event very similar to the one that we are going to be talking about in this video before, and the reaction in the share price was absolutely crazy. So I'm going to go over exactly what I am expecting to happen for Palantir's share price going forward. We're also going to be going over their new partnership and their extended partnership with Amazon AWS and ARK Invest buying behavior of Palantir shares. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So coming over to the chart of Palantir, we can see that the stock has had a very significant sell-off after their earnings report, their share lockup period expiration, and the overall market sell-off over fears of inflation and the rising 10-year treasury yield. But we can see today, with the news that was released by Palantir, the stock is trading up about 6% at the current time that I am recording this video. Now, we've gone over some unusual open interest on Palantir over my last couple of videos, and I want to show you guys what has happened with these contracts and why exactly this is happening. So coming over to the option chain of Palantir, this is going to be the March 19th expiration date for 2021, and we've seen the $30 strike have a very high, unusually high open interest of about 67,000, and the volume traded on these contracts today is about 6,600. Coming down a little bit further, we can see the 35s have an open interest in the 60,000s as well, but their volume is lower. Now, I went over in my last video on Palantir that these contracts are going to be super volatile. So you can see that the time to expiration is super low, and these are deep out of the money contracts, which means time decay is going to affect these contracts a lot more than some other contracts that you may find on some other option chains. We also see the implied volatility is up at 130-ish%. So you can see that the stock is up about 6% today, but these calls are actually down 11%. So the reason for that is the reasons that I just described, with the low time to expiration, the implied volatility, and being so deep out of the money. Now, with the actual event coming up for Palantir in the future, we're going to be looking at some strikes on this April 16th option chain, but let's get into the exact contracts that I am going to be looking to get into a little bit later in this video after we go over this event. So first, we have to cover Palantir's most recent deal update. Coming over here, we can see Palantir and Amazon Web Services team up for ERP suite. So Palantir Technologies announced Friday its new enterprise resource planning ERP system with Amazon Cloud Service Platform, Amazon Web Services, and it will be available to all AWS customers. So why this matters is that Palantir, a software company that specializes in data analytics, has created a number of platforms, including Foundry and Gotham, that are being used by government bodies and commercial customers as a business solution tool. The most important part of this article that I have seen is that within 2 weeks of installing the ERP suite, BP was able to unlock approximately $50 million in working capital and has the potential to unlock further savings if applied across their worldwide supply chain. Now, this is a big deal. The contracts that Palantir is going to be receiving from these companies for their Foundry, Apollo, and Gotham platforms are going to be very expensive, in the multi-million dollars, sometimes even in the hundreds of millions of dollars. But if these companies are able to use the ERP suite through Palantir software to unlock about 50 million or more in working capital, they're going to be able to put that money back into their business for expansion, R&D, and anything like that, make their business model better, and actually benefit us as a society, which I think is a great thing that Palantir is doing. Now, let's get into the very substantial event that Palantir announced today. So this is going to be another demo day. So coming over here, we can see that Palantir announces double-click demo event on April 14th, 2021. So Palantir Technologies today announced that will hold the first in a series of double-click demo events on Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. Palantir software is used by customers across 40 industries worldwide. DoubleClick is Palantir's series of software demo events that showcase how the company's platforms are used across these industries and customers. The first event will feature in-depth demonstrations of Palantir Foundry for life sciences and industrials. Palantir's customers in these verticals include Merck, NIH, NHS, 3M, BP, PG&E, Lanxess, Doosan, and others. The software demos at DoubleClick will showcase how customers can use archetypes, Palantir's solution to deploy end-to-end use cases in a matter of clicks on top of Foundry, including. Now, I actually wasn't able to find this actual post on Palantir's website. Their website is pretty difficult to actually locate this article, but this is very important news. Coming back over to the chart of Palantir, the last demo day event was on January 26th. So we saw a massive run-up from January 22nd into January 26th right here. And we can see this candle, Palantir actually fell pretty substantially after hours once this event was over, the demo day, and then absolutely went on a moon mission to all-time highs in the $45 range before coming back down, consolidating, running up a little bit into their earnings, and selling off. So I'm suggesting that Palantir could have a very substantial run-up into the $30 range before this event on April 14th. So the contracts that I am going to be looking at getting into to play this event are going to be the April 16th expiration dates or the April 23rd. So the April 16th are usually going to have a little bit more liquidity because they're a monthly expiration date. And I'm thinking that these $30 strike contracts trading at about $1.17 are going to be one of the best options to get. Now, the 35s are also could be a great option. They have a pretty good open interest, and the volume is a little bit low today, but these contracts are a little bit cheaper, so this is going to be more of a gamble, and you are going to have to flip the premium going into this event. Now, this is super deep out of the money, and as I always say with an option trade, never put an amount of money into an option trade that you are not fully willing to lose, because most options expire completely worthless. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make profit along the way if you sell before expiration, but on expiration, the vast majority of these options on this option chain will expire worthless, so you do have to be careful when trading options. Now, since there is a very high risk to these, there is also a very high reward. If these $35 strikes were to go in the money, your contracts would be valued at around $3 a contract. I'm just estimating there. But if you were to go from 66 to $3, that is a very substantial return. It's about a 5x in your money. So if you were to put $1,000 into this trade, you would come out with about $5,000. Not too bad for a couple of weeks of trading. But again, these are incredibly risky, and you should always trade with an amount of money that you are willing to lose. When I trade options, I usually only put between $250 to $1,000 into any given option trade, depending on the amount of conviction that I have. Now, when I put more money into an option trade and the trade actually starts to work out, I typically like to make that trade free, which means if the contracts go up 100%, I will sell off half my position, get my initial investment back, and then leave the profits until expiration. So if they go to zero, that is perfectly fine. I have my money back. Now, if you don't know a lot about options, I would not suggest getting into any options trades if you have not, one, paper traded first or know exactly what you are getting yourselves into. Paper trading is actually a very good way to get your feet wet in the options world. So if you guys want to follow along with any of the trades I mentioned on this channel, just open up a paper trading account so you can understand how the options move. Now, if you don't want to mess around with options, this dip in Palantir, if you are a long-term investor, in my opinion, is an amazing one to buy. Now, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say in these videos is financial advice. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only, but Palantir trading so far off of the all-time highs with nothing but good news coming out about the company. ARK Invest buying the dips in extreme ways all of the time. We can see here, this chart is going to track the buying behavior of ARK in Palantir shares. On this dip that Palantir has had, ARK Invest has gone all in. We actually saw Cathie Wood make some statements on what strategies she's been using throughout this dip. She actually said that if you are a long-term investor, this is an absolute gift to you, which is what I've been saying on this channel as well. Now, she also said that when there is a sell-off in the market, she tends to sell off some of the positions that are down to create a loss for tax purposes and use the sold off capital to put more money into their higher conviction plays. Now, when we see ARK go from 4 million Palantir shares all the way up to about 15.5 million Palantir shares, that shows that they have massive conviction in this company for the long term. So as a long-term investor, if you like Palantir as a data analytics play for the long term, this is a great dip to buy. So that is going to be it for this update on Palantir. If you guys enjoyed the information I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys had a really profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.